All right. You know what's up? We're back at it again. Pittsburgh International to O'Hare today in this A319. American 318 is the flight. Full complement of passengers, of course. Day after Thanksgiving. Let's go ahead and get all these shoppers with full bellies to where they need to go so they can continue stimulating our economy and bringing in the holidays for 2020. Okay, so just a disclaimer. I'm on this aircraft. This is an A319. Now, I have flown many Airbuses. However, I usually fly the JAR design A320. This is the tolless A319. Never flown it. So, hopefully, this is not too painful. Alright, let's go ahead and jump up top. Do the standard thing, what we do with Airbuses, which is get the batteries on it first. So you can see here external power is on, but we still need to go ahead and put some batteries on here. So here you can see we are most certainly in the electrics panel. So let's hit the battery one. Well, the batteries look like they're already on, so everything is on here. Okay, battery goes. So supposedly the batteries are on here. So perhaps we just need to turn all of the avionics on. Let's see. These are all on here. Ventilation. Let's see here. Maybe we need to. Nope, the bus was already tied. So as you can see here, we continue to fumble. Okay, that's on. Faults are on. This is going to be an interesting one. So in the meantime, let's get our nav and logo on. So we'll flip that up. We'll turn our emergency lights on. We'll turn this to auto, which is our seat belts and non-smoking. And so all of this I'm presuming to be on. The airflow is low. Okay, so let's go ahead and come up top and get our IRS is aligning. And then of course let's come down here and let's brighten this up, of course. And now we need to come over here to initialization, and we need to put where we're going. So we're going from Pittsburgh / to Chicago O'Hare. All right, that's in there. Now we can start aligning the IRS, and the cost index that we are flying with our flight plan is 45. Flight number today is American 318. And of course, we are going to be at flight level 300. There we go. And so now we are aligning the IRSs, and this is why I thought everything was off, because it was so dim. So I guess you have to come in here and actually brighten everything up. So that's what we'll do. Again, first time I've ever flown this aircraft or done anything significant in there, so I'm just going to use my knowledge of Airbuses, which I'm not saying is super extensive, but it should be. Let's brighten that one up. Let's brighten this display up. All right, I've already switched these over to inches here instead of what they use in the UK. So we've got to look at these middle panels here too, and we've got to also brighten these up. So let's look to see switching. Here's the brightness for these. There we go. So we're brightening everything up. Let's make this FMS a little bit brighter. Alright, so the IRS is in alignment, and that will take 7 minutes. Our parking brake is on, and the TCAS is to standby. We do have 7,000 pounds of fuel on board, as you can see right here, so that is good. So in the meantime, we are going to let the IRS continue to align, and hopefully we can just go ahead and start throwing in our flight plan. Let's go down here and just double check the center console. Again, we are most certainly flying on the VATSIM network today, but there is no ATC here where we are at right now, coverage. So if that changes, I will most certainly give you guys an update on that. All right, let's continue to get this MCP all set up, and then we'll start getting the weather and things like that, simply because the aircraft is initializing. So again, today we are going to be going on over. Let's get this up to at least, there we go. So we're going up to flight level 300 or 30,000 feet. And literally the rest of this, there's really not going to be any need for us to mess with any of this, simply because we're going to let the aircraft basically do the autopilot and rely on that, as we should. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and okay, so we are literally just waiting for the IRS to align. So what we can do now is go ahead and pull in some weather for the Pittsburgh area, just to make sure we get our altimeter set, since again we are handling this aircraft without any ATC, so we'll do it ourselves. So we see here the winds are basically out of the almost perfectly due west, minus 10 degrees, at 3 knots, nothing significant at all. We have some overcast below 4,200 feet. We still have good visibility of 10 miles, and of course the altimeter is 3004. So with that, we know west and 3004. So let's be proactive here, and let's get this to 3004, as well as our co-pilot side, even though we are only going to be operating on this side here. And then now, of course, we can take a look at what runway we should use. Just pulling up some charting information here, my Navigraph, which I'll share with you guys here. So we said it was a western. So if the winds are out of the west, it looks like we can most certainly, and let's find out where we're at on the field, of course. Okay, so we're here at the Bravo concourse, so it looks like we can most certainly, if we wanted more runway, even though this 10,775 feet is more than enough runway to take off, if we really wanted to take off from the best runway, we would have simply take this 28 left. It gives us the most runway to take off of. However, I think we're just going to live on the edge, and we're going to take off of runway 28 center. So essentially our taxi will be pretty simple. We'll exit the ramp area, get on, probably take this Delta 2 all the way to Echo, and just take Echo all the way down until 28 center, and then we can take off. So I'm not quite sure the normal procedure at this airport. Normally the longer runways are closer to the terminal, so they're taking off here, and they probably land on 28 left and 28 right, and vice versa. If it's landing east, they would do the same thing. So anyway, we're going to take 28 Charlie here. We got more than enough runway to get the Airbus into the air, so that we can climb smartly. Now, one thing I am hoping, I'm going to pull in this interface here, just because I haven't flown this aircraft before. Let's go ahead and take a look at the aircraft configuration to see if I'm going to get any information regarding the CG and all that. Okay, so here it is right here, 28.6%, and so enter these values on initial page B page. So these are the values that I'll need here. So that's why I was referencing that. Let me write that down to my scratch pad. The 0 fuel weight center of gravity is 28.6, and zero fuel weight itself is 52,520 kilograms. Alright, so I know there was going to be something here. Let's look. There shouldn't be any other services. Right now we just have the external power on. Oh, and we still have to plan for our pushback. All the doors look like they're closed, so that's good. Alright, so let's close that down. Now you can see that our FMS is all up and ready to go. So let's see here. There should be a next page. Okay, see, here's the zero fuel weight percentage that we needed. So we are at 28.6 for the zero fuel weight, and now it's 52.5 is the, let's see here. See, again, this is just 52.5. Out of range. So zero fuel weight CG. Now let's come over here again and look at our sheet here. Okay, back to the configuration. Zero fuel weight 52.5. So maybe it doesn't need the decimal, so we'll type in 525 maybe, because you guys can see it's right here. For the zero fuel weight, it's 52. So let's keep trying this. Again, I'm just using, so 52.5. Let's see if that works. Entry out of range. Okay, so let's just try 52. Entry out of range. This is interesting. Okay, I don't know exactly how it wants me to put this in here, but we must do it. So we just have to keep trying. 52 space 5 maybe. Format error. This is interesting here. Let's try 52, and it's gonna say out of range. Entry out of range. This is interesting. Okay. Let's go back here and try something else. Maybe we just need to put the yeah, but when I switch to 28.6, or maybe it's supposed to be like this. Let's try 28.6 slash 52.5 and see if this works. There we go, folks. So that's completely funny. Now here's this block information. So let's go back here and figure out what we need to do for this block information here. Okay, block fuel. I guess we're supposed to write and apply these load settings. The above settings give enter these values. So I wonder if the block fuel should be this 7,000 pounds here. Let's see. No information here. Above settings, enter these values. Zero fuel weight. So I'm not sure if we're supposed to be typing in the block fuel of 7,000 pounds, or should that be a percentage? This is a zero fuel weight, of course, kilograms. So I'm assuming if the zero fuel weight in kilograms is 52.53, then I'm assuming that the block weight is the accumulated weight of everything. So then that would bring that up to 59.5. So let's just assume it's 59.5. We're just adding the 7,000 kilograms of fuel to this to get the block weight, because the block fuel is the aggregated fuel from all of the reserve, all the calculations from the reserves to the field, or from airport to airport reserves, alternate, and then some extra fuel on, and then you have pilot's discretion fuel, which I didn't put any extra on, I just went with the flight plan. So 0 fuel weight here. I'm assuming the block weight, what it wants is the 52 plus 7,000, so we'll make that 59.5. And hopefully this is right, so we'll do 59.5, and it should be in range. Okay, entry out of range. So they don't like that. Let's see. So we got this piece right here, you know, and it's orange here, so it wants something. Again, this is 0 fuel weight, so, you know, block, you know, it says it's out of range. Let's try it again. And maybe there's like a little formula set up in there. If I'm doing the wrong thing, it won't let it do it, obviously. Okay, so that's out of range. So now let's try the 700. Actually, you know what? That's 2 digits there, so it should be really just 7, if you will. Okay. So initial fuel prediction. Okay, so now this is making sense, because now our takeoff weight is 59.3 kilograms, which is what I was expecting. Our landing weight is 58.1 kilograms, supposedly. So that's what it was, folks. You're putting in the fuel here accordingly, which again, you got to make sure you're putting the decimals in the right place, because you wouldn't want to put 70. That would, I mean, this aircraft wouldn't even hold 70,000 kilos of fuel. So anyway, all right, so that's taken care of. So now we can come over here to the flight plan, and you know, the funny thing is, we are literally, there's no departures that we're taking off from. However, we'll just choose the runway, which we said was going to be 28 center. So no SIDs available, no worries. We'll insert that. Now I'm pretty sure if I was flying on some type of network, they would give me like the basic standard kind of like VOR departure from the field, which is usually named right after the field, like the Pittsburgh 5 or whatever the case may be. But again, we get to do a bunch of fun stuff just because we do not have any air traffic control. All right, Bravo Sierra Victor is our next waypoint. Obviously it's not this one, so that means there's 2 on the globe, and here's the different latitudes and longitudes. We're gonna go to the closer one, because we will just assume that's what we're supposed to do, obviously, given the distance between Pittsburgh and Chicago. And then Weaver is the next one. Okay, so it's saying by the time we get here, we should be at our top of climb. After Weaver, we are going to do a an airway. So this is again going off of my information of having flown Airbuses before. I'm just going to follow the same procedures here. So Quebec 62 is the airway, and then we're getting out at VATSIM. That's Whiskey Alpha Tango Sierra November. All right, now we should be able to return, and from Weaver, there we go, we got that, and then to VATSIM. So everything is continuing to work out here just fine. Now we are most certainly going to click on destination and arrival, and we are arriving. We don't know what runway we are arriving on per se, so let me simply you know, check the current ATIS in Chicago, and then figure out what runway we will be landing on. Okay, so now we have, I'm pulling in the weather for O'Hare. Right now the winds are out of the west, and let me look at the best possible runway there for winds out of the west. 28 Charlie would be the runway. So let's look for ILS 28 Charlie. And then now we can put in the star, which is just like our last point, VATSIM. And then of course they're saying no transition. Let's just double, no via is available, which is fine. So we'll do no via, and here's the transition. Should be, so there's still no transition of VATSIM, as you can see. So none. So just insert that, and then now we'll come and look at our flight plan. So we still hit VATSIM, and then from there we start the arrival. And again, right now it has us a discontinuity, just simply because we are going to have to manually take this. So essentially we are, let's see if it will let me delete this. So let's hit clear and see if it lets us get rid of that discontinuity. And essentially it won't, because this has us going to the manual heading before we get to the runway, which kind of makes it good, because then we're able to change our runway and then go direct at that point. So that is awesome. So now we're going to go over here to performance, and now we need to most certainly look for our V speeds, which this is going to be the interesting part. I'm not quite sure how the V speeds are even being calculated here. So let us simply figure this piece out, and we'll get it plugged in like we always do. Okay, so able to find the actual V speeds by simply coming back into this interface here and selecting our slats, which we selected 2, and then it gives the information here. Also, we have a flex temperature of 63, which I'm writing down. Okay, so now we're going to come out here now and close that down. And as you can see right here, we can go ahead and put those speeds in. So they're going to essentially be 148, 148, and 150. All right, and then 150, of course. There we go. And then this is saying flaps retract at 147, slats retract at 184, clean at 204. So essentially, this is funny, it says we can start retracting the flaps, but that's not what we're doing. So now what we're going to essentially come over here and put some information in here at this point. So we're doing flaps 2, and we are going to be going up. It's going to be 0.1. Hopefully this takes it. It should. There we go. So we got flaps 2, and we have up for the trim. This is for the trims. And then of course our flex temperature today is 63. So now we have for a flex takeoff, of course, transition altitude here in the United States is 18,000 feet. And that'll be so the altimeters automatically switch to that. And that'll be it. We're not ready for the next phase, because the next phase is cruise. So at this point, let's go ahead and just assume that we're doing pretty good here. Let me make sure we actually turn up any brightness anywhere, just so, let's see, we already did it down here. Okay, those are full up. I like that. This is full up. Now you can see the flight plan right here in the our flight displays. Okay, we got flood lighting on, good. And let's make sure that's all squared away. What else do we have over here? This is for our TCAS and our weather radar. Let's go ahead and lock the cockpit door. Parking brake is set. It's all good there. Now let's come on over here, of course, to our transponder, and we are going to Okay, we'll be turning it. It's on auto, but we'll turn it to TARA here in a minute. And once again, there are no aircraft here, therefore we are not hearing anything. Let's also get our comms 2 on, so that we are all ready to go. Okay, now without further ado, let's come up top now, folks. We are most certainly going to turn our red beacon on so that we can let people know that the aircraft is getting ready to power up. And of course, now we need the master switch for our APU, and we want to go ahead and start that. So now you will see the APU information start registering here once the APU comes up. So it's starting up now. We should see something here registering. That's the little notch 1 fan for the APU starting to come up. You can see the exhaust gas temperature rising, and the APU bleed flap is open now. Alright, still coming up. Just takes a minute. It's your normal turbine. You can even hear it whispering in the back. Wait till it gets right to about 90 something percent. That's usually when it becomes available. Alright, and it's right there at 100% availability. So now it is available. Now we need to make sure that we connect the APU gen, which looks like it's automatic. So all we have to do here is disconnect external power, and it switches right over to the APU generator so that we still have power on the aircraft. Now with the interface, we're going to come to the plugins and simply get rid of the APU by disconnecting it there, and now back off. So now everything else up top is still looking good. Now we can most certainly plan our pushback, which we didn't do, so let's do that together. So we're going to come to better pushback here, and we already know that we're going to want to nose to the right. So essentially we can just come here and get the aircraft turned here, and then we can do the rest. So it's no worries there.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Okay, and believe it or not, we are ready. So let's get that pushback happening.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Alright, so since the tow is driving up, let's go ahead and come back down here and not forget to put our aircraft squawk on, because I will most certainly forget that. Alright, we're just waiting for the tow to drive up. And it does look like we most certainly have some air traffic control now, lucky us, in the Cleveland Center. So I'm going to make contact, and we're going to check the ATIS, and we're also going to figure out what his
okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Alright, so they're connecting us, and Cleveland Center is 1349. So let's come down here and do what we're supposed to do. So 1349, and then we'll also listen to the ATIS here in a second. Oh, let's see. Switched over, wasn't paying attention. 34. Trying to get to the smaller one. There we go. 134.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
We'll just hold on there for a second with that command. And then let's see, the ATIS is 127250. So let's go here. 250.
Thomas 1031, you're ready to contact 9000, starting Eastern, climate take level 200.
200, Delta 1031.
Alright. Again, it's trying to figure out. Gotta be right on it. So 127. Alright. Let's go ahead and listen.
Altimeter 3004. Simultaneous ILS runway 28 left and ILS runway 28 right approach is in use. ILS runway 32 in use. Departing runway 28 right. Runway 28 center. North is to airmen.
Alright, so I think we're
Operate
good to go.
transponder in altitude reporting mode on all taxiways and runways. Read Echo runway hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Alpha.
Alright, Alpha is current.
Delta 1851 passing through 1005.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and file our flight plan with him.
Correction 1000, climate 10 flight, or correction 1313,000. Detroit altimeter 3003.
Alright. Cleveland Center, American 318. Looking for IFR to O'Hare.
American 318, Cleveland Center, clear to the O'Hare Airport via radar vectors Briggs as filed. Climb maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 3001 minutes after, squawk 5717.
Okay, cleared to O'Hare, radar vectors Braves, climb maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 30010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 5715 for American 318.
American 318, read back correct. Runway 28 right for departure. Advise when you have information to Alpha at Pittsburgh.
Okay, we have Alpha on board and are actually requesting via the ATIS 28 Charlie if that's acceptable for American 318.
Expect that.
Thank you, sir. Alright. So,
Cleveland setting now 158 spec in a day. Yeah, 158 right.
now we must put this to 5,000. So we'll climb immediately up to 5,000 and
Monza cargo 8185 Cleveland Center.
I'll have to make sure I'm touching that correctly.
310.
Let's see here, and then of course we have the right altimeter. We need to go back down and put the right beacon code now of 5715. So that is now on, and we're still expecting the same runway. So how nice is that? So let's go ahead and release the parking brake. Parking brake is released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Pushback is starting, however, we're going to hold off on starting the engines.
Delta 1851, can we request
Let me just come over here. So, in this Airbus,
you're cleared on
the
that off
things
the
that you
ground,
have
sir.
to do is just know, see there's two buttons. So
Repeat one more time.
the 2 pulls it out, which is what we need to do, and the 1 pushes it in. If you're looking in the middle of the mouse thing, it goes to 2 and then 1. So that means there's 1, the 1 pushes it in, and the 2 pulls it out. So when it comes in, if I push it in, then it will follow the autopilot. So having said that, we know that that's what these ones do. I'm just familiarizing myself with some basic functionalities of this Airbus. Alright, once we get up, we'll turn that over. These will automatically come on. Once again, the one wonderful thing about these Airbuses is same thing with the Embraer series, is that they pretty much do everything for you. You still need to know how to do them, but it does make it quite nice that they do a multitude of functions for you. And we're just continuing to get pushed back here. Alright. So far, not anything too significant for us getting on the way. Just letting the tug do its job there. So again, I think we'll be doing a nice straight out taxi. We're gonna pick this up and come on over until we get Echo, and we'll taxi, so basically like Delta 2, Delta 1 on over to Echo, which will just be a straight doggone taxi here and a nice easy left transition.
Speedbird 297, recycle
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
All right, let's verify that parking brake gets set. There you go, parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, now we can go ahead and start our engines. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come here, we're going to put this ignition on and start our engines.
German cargo 8185.
Go ahead.
Descend across Canuck, flight level 310.
Okay, we got low start air pressure, which makes sense. Okay, so
Confirm,
one of the things now that we have to do in here,
level
go
310.
ahead and turn that
Correct.
off,
Watch.
come up, and that means we need to
Speedbird
turn our bleed
297, I'm
on.
not showing you the correct code
So
still.
where you
give
have
me
to
1
do
second, I'll give you
here
the code.
is put this APU
Okay.
bleed on. Now the engine will start, and I forgot that was not automatic.
Flight
so,
5720 for me, 5720.
Tow is disconnected and light gas has been removed. Hand signal on delay.
All right.
We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Again, you fly one Airbus, you fly them all. We'll go ahead and activate this engine now. We should get some rotation on it, as you see here.
Speedbird 297,
We
we're good
basically, from the APU, so these engines also require air, hot
Cleveland
air,
Center, 674
for
Tango Foxtrot,
pressurization in order to get the
level
engine started.
450.
So that's why we had to turn on those bleeds.
now. Citation 674 Tango
So as you can
Foxtrot,
see,
Cleveland
it
Center
is
Squawk
most certainly
5716.
cycling through the startup
5716.
procedure.
674 Tango Foxtrot.
Center Southwest 9705, holding short
Last time
21
through,
right,
you can hear the engine
90%.
coming up nicely.
Southwest 9705, RNF, sorry, gonna runway 21 right, clear for takeoff.
RNF, Sergey, clear takeoff, Southwest 9705.
All right. Okay, speed brake. Not quite sure what's going on here, but the speed brake is most certainly not armed. Now, auto brake will be arming, of course. And is it in the max reverse? Let's see here. There we go. For whatever reason, the engine started in the reverse mode. I don't know if that's a glitch, but whatever. We'll assume it is. Let's go ahead and get number 1 up and running. And that engine looks like it's starting okay. Meantime, let's go ahead and get our flaps down to take off.
Citation 4 Tango Foxtrot, radar contact level 450, welcome.
Got our anti-skid on. Got our auto brake on.
The Fountain Cargo 8185, leave my airspace to the northeast to Toronto Center, authorized air services terminated, frequency change approved, good night.
Alright,
your brain,
as you can
fucking
see
anyway,
right
but
there,
I
the APU generator now just switched over.
Got the 1851
So we
to
can
send by the Browns,
essentially
3 arrival.
verify
I'll
that
get
the
you birth
generators
rate,
have
but
no
I'll send
fault
her in a
now.
second.
So now the APU bleed can be turned off.
Descend
So
via
the
the Bronze
APU
3
being
arrival for...
Alright folks,
Don't
let's
take
go
your-
ahead and continue to go through our
The
takeoff
Burke altimeter
page. So now we're
3004.
going to come over here to the takeoff
3004,
configuration.
thank you, sir.
We're going to click that. And now we need to check the spoilers to be armed. So let's go ahead and do that. The spoilers are armed. And we need to go ahead and check the cabin, of course. So essentially maybe it might want us to lock the door again. And let's see, some of these Airbuses have like a little camera back here. I don't know if that's where they want us to check the cabin, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and do our flight controls check here. We're going to go full up. I'm sorry, we can't even see it here. Shame on me.
Cleveland Center,
Alright, here's what we're looking at.
Southwest 9705,
We're gonna go full up.
arrival. for departure.
Full down.
Southwest 9705, Cleveland Center.
Rudder left.
Radar contact 3007.
Rudder right.
Maintain level 4.
Aileron left.
Cancel the speed restrictions.
Aileron right.
Force has heard, cancel
Looking good.
restriction.
Looking good.
Southwest
Okay.
9705.
Let's come back over here and put it to takeoff configuration.
124.0.
And we can clear this page. And then we'll get a systems check. Everything there is normal. And now we'll put it back to all so that we see the engine. We see our gross weight. We see a bunch of information that's relevant to us.
51 heavy, contact Cleveland approach.
And we're ready to go. The APU is still available.
24
For whatever reason, that should be off here. Takeoff configuration is normal, so that's good. See, APU is still available, but it's probably still cooling down because it is not on. So we'll just monitor that. Let's go ahead and call for our taxi. Pittsburgh ground, American 318 information. Alpha on board is ready to taxi.
American 318, runway 28 center, taxi by Echo, and you can cross runway 14 on Echo.
Taxi runway 28 Charlie via Echo, cross runway 14 at Echo, American 318. Alright folks, let's go ahead and do what we need to do. So we're going to come up top, and you know we need to turn our taxi light on, of course, and we're going to go ahead and hit this runway turn-off light on the side. And then of course we're going to put our PAX flow to normal now. Just simply because the engine is running and we have everything up top looking good. We have no alarms and our takeoff configuration has been approved. Once we leave, we'll hit the trusty auto throttle here and get where we absolutely need to go. Alright, getting rusty here, so may the force be with us. Looking left, looking right. Parking brake is released.
Delta 6031, radar contact level 370 position as reported. Welcome.
Evening, Delta 6031.
Delta 1031, Helium Aerospace to the north, Minneapolis Center offline. Air services are terminated. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Switching to frequency. Good day. 1031.
Flying time today is 1 hour and 9 minutes once we get into the air, of course. So next taxiway is most certainly Echo. Taxiway is clear right, clear left. So once we take off, we're flying radar vectors, which means we need to square up our heading and pull that out for our autopilot. So once we get, he's going to tell us either fly runway heading or he's going to give us a heading to fly. When we take off and hit the autopilot, essentially that's what we exactly want. Alright, and we will be taking this all the way down. So far, this being our maiden flight in this A319 produced by Tolis, or Togli, I don't know how to pronounce it, looks like it's a French word. So far, getting the aircraft up and running has been pretty enjoyable. The things we didn't know, because we do know how to fly an Airbus, we went and found that information. and you know, plugged it in appropriately. So pretty excited about that. All right, our taxi speed is about 25 knots.
158, this is across the Emma intersection at maintain flight level 320.
We'll cross, I'm at 320, United 158.
I'm most certainly going to be paying attention to the approach controls with this. It seems like in the jar design A320,
297 pilot discretion to maintain flight level 320.
the flight controls are super touchy anytime you're landing, and it's almost unrealistic. So we'll see how this operates. I've flown Airbuses in P3D and Microsoft Flight Simulator X. I don't even own 2020 yet. I'm waiting for all the bugs to get worked out. Very happy with X-Plane. I do know the differences in as far as the world and user interface with Microsoft 2020. However, if I can't get on there and fly a full IFR flight because Comms 2 isn't working and it's not for me just yet. But I'm a fan of any great simulator. I support all platforms, so it's not like I pick one over the other. But if I really like it, I'm going to support it. Let's look right, all clear. Look left, all clear. No incoming, no outgoing. We're not even going to turn on our lights. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with that whole situation.
Citation 4 Tango Foxtrot, clear direct Jamestown via Large Juliet Hotel Whiskey.
Alright, so crossing over runway 14.
Roger, direct Jamestown over 674 Take Fox.
Alright. Slow it up here. We've got our hold short bars coming up here.
Southwest 9705 will be logging off here momentarily, and I'll be leaving my airspace here soon. Road services are terminated for change approved. Indianapolis Center is offline.
We've got a Unicron 22.8. Thanks for your services. Southwest 9705. Good night.
0.
Pittsburgh Tower, American 318, holding short runway 28. Charlie, ready to go.
American 318, the Pittsburgh wind 26, correction 280. No, actually it's 2603. Runway 28 center cleared for takeoff.
28 center clear for takeoff for American 318. Alright, folks.
Station 4 Tango Foxtrot.
It's time for takeoff.
Services are terminated. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Looks like this guy is getting ready to log off.
Have a good night.
We'll get our strobes on.
Delta 631, logging off. Federal services are terminated. Frequency change approved. Good day.
So we
Over
will be...
Unicron Delta 6031. Have a good one.
United 158 and Speedbird 297. I'm logging off. Federal services are terminated. Frequency change approved.
Unicron 122.8. United 158. See ya.
Alright.
Charlie, current frequency clearance is now closed as of 23:47 Zulu time. Monitor Unicom.
Alright, so we can get rid of him. Thank you for wasting our time. Basically, he came on after we were ready, and then we stopped to give him the respect of being controlling us, and then now he's logging off. So essentially now we can just let the aircraft do all of the autopiloting. I'm still going to just fly runway heading, and then I'll vector us on over. We'll get up in the air and then go direct. Is probably what I'll do. Good thing is he was on. There was no other incoming aircraft, so I'm not even going to do a call out, simply because he gave us the information of who was on. And I'm so glad I didn't decide to go with the 28 right runway when I was already set up for this runway. Alright folks, we are essentially ready to go. Parking brake is released. Takeoff power is set. We're doing a full power takeoff because we're heavy. Just holding center line here. V1 and rotate. Nice and smooth off the deck, positive rate. Gears coming up. Alright, first stage of flaps coming up. And we'll go ahead and go autopilot. Second stage of flaps are coming up. And actually we'll go all the way up to 30,000 feet. And we'll put the lever into climb. Thrust climb has been activated. Aircraft will continue to pick up speed. Let's go ahead and change our range here. And that was a pretty nice takeoff because we were automatically direct to our first waypoint. So as you can see here, aircraft is picking up speed. All right. Let's go ahead and make sure the aircraft is all cleaned up. Flap lever is all the way up, of course, indicated. One thing we need to do is we need to put our ignition into normal, which we should have done before we took off. That's okay. Landing lights will stay on, and the ground spoilers can come off now. Now we just have the no smoking seat belts and the landing light on, which will stay on. One thing we forgot to do is what we always do is start the chronometer. So we'll just add about 2 minutes to that or so. Alright. So we are continuing to climb. Again, it's a pleasure to fly these Airbuses because basically once you know how to fly one, you know how to fly the other one. You know how to fly a lot of them, excluding some of the, you know, technical information per aircraft. So let's go ahead and put this one on our flight plan so we can keep monitoring that. We have passed 10,000 feet, so we can most certainly look up top now and get our landing lights off, of course, and our nose light, taxi light. You can see the weather updating, and we'll leave the strobes and everything else on. Nav2 logo, seat belts and emergency lights and no smoking will stay illuminated at this point. And now we are just going to continue to climb. And monitor aircraft systems for the time being. Alright, we are cruising along, still at flight level 300, or flight level, or 30,000 feet I should say. And the Chicago Center air traffic control is on, which we're about to enter. So he's 134875. Alright, let's go down here, 134. Ooh, it makes it easy for us. 875.
Clear for the 22 Lucky Yankee. 252.
So he'll be reaching out to us again. I do have my
412,000 O'Hare altimeter 3011.
Fantastic up, which tells me
Process about 1203011, speed within 97.
Alright, we're cruising right along.
Legion 52, contact Chicago, approach at 119.0. 119.0.
119.0.
So I'm pulling in the arrival that we are on now.
Yeah, the 158, contact Chicago, approach at 119.0.
We're essentially coming in this way to VATSIM. And we'll work our way up, of course. And depending on the runway, is how we will essentially...
Asiana 625, contact Chicago, approach at 119.0.
hit the field.
119.0, Asiana 625.
And we're not quite in approaches purview just yet. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the approach plate for a nice scenic view there. Coming over Lake Michigan.
American 318, contact Chicago, approach 119.0.
Over to Chicago approach 119.0. See you next time, American 318. Alright, so over to approach. We didn't get the Chicago approach. American 318, 15,300, descending 12,000. We do have the information for the weather at the field.
American 318, Chicago approach, expect visual approach, runway 28 center.
Expecting visual approach, runway 28 center for American 318.
Asiana 625 at Sega, contact O'Hare Tower 120.75, good night.
Alright, so we're
over tower, Asiana 625, see ya.
essentially getting the
American
runway.
44, clear deck mobile.
Direct mobile on my
Chop here. Got about 2,000 to go here. Let's go ahead and reduce that so now we can see within a 20-mile radius. Of course, when we get to our last fix there, we're supposed to turn left heading 270. So we'll make sure we're all, once we're direct to CNAC from Dweeb, we're gonna just hover right at 250.
American 44, contact Chicago Center 134.87, good night.
Switching to 134.7. Thank you for the help. See you.
American 484, close 134.87.
134.87. Thank you, American 484.
Alright, definitely getting some serious chop here. Alright, and we need to know exactly what our touchdown elevation is. So I'm here to tell you folks the touchdown elevation is, stand by, pulling up the chart here, 651 feet. Airport elevation is 680. Of course, once we go direct to our last waypoint, Essentially, we are going to most certainly slow down on the speed. Definitely a choppy one up here, that's for sure. It's probably all that cool air coming off the lake, to be honest with you. So we're going to get to our turn here in a second. We are at 12,000. And reduce our speed to 230. Slowly slip down our speeds. Now if we want to go ahead and check the safety flap speeds right here, you can see them right here. So flaps 1 extend is 230. 1 plus
American 318, turn left, heading 290.
left 290, American 318. Alright, so what we got to do now, click that open and go left 290. Now that we're doing that, we can essentially come down here and go direct. Let's see here. Believe direct Hazel. Insert direct 2. Now essentially this is going to take us, should take us straight to Hazel. And that is on our approach. So at Hazel we should be at 4,000. So at any moment he should be giving us some type of descent instructions. So now we can come over here to perf. We can go next phase, previous phase. We'll be able to activate the approach phase here in a second once we get a little closer. Still curious why he isn't giving me lower altitude.
Chicago approach, good evening, Delta 2359.
So right now we're about 30 miles out.
Delta 2359, Chicago approach, same position.
This would be a great time for him to give us that descent.
Chicago approach, Delta 2359 is a Boeing 772 at Echo 17 with information Echo on board. Like to request IFR to Minneapolis.
Delta 2359, contact O'Hare Tower 120.75, it'll help you out.
Contact tower, thank you, Delta 2359.
Alright, we'll just stay right here at 12,000 and see if he knows what he's doing. We've got our speed slowed up. Essentially, we're straight in.
American 318, descend and maintain 7,000.
7,000 American 318. Alright, so we were close on what we were thinking. Now the aircraft is most certainly going to descend to that. And we're going to do it 2,000 feet per minute. Alright, so now let's come here and look at our approach speed at full flaps. Is going to be 127. Our approach speed is 132 as it stands. Once we get a little closer, we'll make that happen. We're getting ready to go beneath 10,000 feet though, of course, so we need to come up top. Need to get all of our lights on. Hopefully we have a nice smooth touchdown here for our first time in this A319 from Toulouse. I don't know how, maybe it's pronounced Toulouse. Alright. Let us just re-verify what those winds are. Okay, the winds are gusting only at 7 knots, so we can most certainly probably do the full flaps landing as prescribed. And the runway length of our trusty runway is, pulling up my charts here, 18 inches. Airport elevation. Looking on my chart, it should tell me how long the runway is. I forgot where I'm supposed to find that information at. But it should be on the chart. If not, I can look on the actual runway, but I'm just...
Departure, good evening, American 49 Whiskey, map to 3.1 for 5.
American 49 Whiskey, Chicago departure at contact. Clear direct Comiskey, climb maintain 15,000.
Direct maintain over to 15,000, 15,000, 49 Whiskey.
So I don't see the runway length. Straight in landing. I'm sure it's somewhere on the chart. I'm just missing it. Let me go to my go-to chart. Alright, so we're now at 7,000. My go-to chart, it's telling me that the runway length in 28 Charlie is 10,800 feet, so we're okay there. Alright. We're still extremely high.
American 318, clear direct Rusco, descend to maintain 4,000. Join the runway 28 center localizer.
Okay, clear direct Ruse code, send and maintain 4,000, cleared ILS 28 center for American 318.
American 318, not clear the approach, just join the localizer. I'll have you call the airport and sign clear you for the visual just a little bit.
Okay, roger that. We'll go ahead and make concessions. Let's see, okay, so he said down
American 49 Whiskey, contact Chicago Center 134.87, good night.
We're going to be cleared direct Rusco, which is not even in there. We're already a direct Hazel anyway, which that's right before it, so we're going down to 4,000.
American 318, the airport is your 12 o'clock, 20 miles, report inside.
Okay, we're just above a cloud. We'll report the field when we have it inside American 318. Alright, we're activating the localizer, of course. Alright, speed check flaps 1. Alright, we are going to put our auto brake to medium. We're going to arm ground spoilers, of course. And now we're going to start bringing our aircraft down to 170. should be capturing the localizer here at any point. Now we've got the aircraft into the landing system, so we have our lateral and vertical navigation. Let's see, we need to come out on the speed brakes a little bit. So we are over speeding.
Departure, this is Golf.
Localizer has been captured.
7604. I am at heading 250, climbing to 5,000.
Golf Fox Alpha 7604, Chicago departure, radar contact, climb maintain 15,000.
Speed check flaps 2.
Copy, climb and maintain 15,000.
Alright. We're at 127.50. 127.50 is the tower. 120.
American 318, descend to maintain 3,500 near the airport.
Down to 3,500, and we actually do have the field in sight for American 318.
American 318, clear visual approach runway 28 center, and at Seika, contact O'Hare Tower 120.75.
A cleared visual approach 28 center over to tower 120.75, American 318.
Good night.
Alright, let's see where we're at. Chicago O'Hare Tower, American 318 on the visual for 28 Charlie.
American 318, O'Hare Tower, wind 2707 at 7, runway 28 center, clear to land.
28 center cleared to land, American 318. Alright folks, we are effectively reducing our speed. What we need to do now is go ahead and go to our perf, and we need to make sure, well, it's activated already. Since we have the ILS, there's our approach speed of 132. So let's get that in there. Once we get a little closer, I'll take it over. Because it's dancing around so much. Alright. So we have everything taken care of there as far as our speed. Here in 2 seconds, we're going to get our landing gear out, of course. It's been a pretty smooth flight. All right.
2,500.
Landing gear is coming down. You'll notice here, we'll make sure we get 3 greens. Landing gear is down. Now we are flaps full. It's a super choppy ride. I wonder if we would go to flaps 3 might be a better option. 136 on the approach speed. Let's go up 1 on the flaps and do 136 just because it's so windy. I notice when I land full flaps into the wind, and we'll put this cabin check. It wants us to put flaps to full, but we're not. We just changed the landing configuration to let's see, it's on full. Okay, 136. Let's see. That's on 3. That doesn't make sense. So let's go back to 3 again. There we go. 136 is our approach speed, and that's what we're sticking with. You see, we kind of stabled out.
Speed.
Well, no speed. It's 136. So no speed there, sir. We're following exactly the prescribed speed. So we disagree wholeheartedly, sir. Okay, landing gear is down. Landing gear, signs are on, cabin has been checked, spoilers are armed, flaps are not to full because we're doing a flaps 3 landing. Let's make sure our taxi light and all that good stuff is on as well. Boom, everything up top looks great, guys. Alright, essentially the terminal we're going to should be right up in here. For the correct gate, again, we're looking for Hotel 11 Bravo. Okay, it's on the inner part of that. 1, 2, 3rd, second gate up. Just trying to get my references here. Okay, so I see where we need to be. Alright, folks, autopilot is coming off. It's definitely my aircraft.
500.
And we'll just retard the throttle.
400.
So far, I'm liking the controls here versus the other aircraft of the JAR design.
Hotel Delta 2359 is ready as taxi.
Delta 2359 Heavy, runway 28 right, full length taxi via Alpha 12.
Just gave it so it would shut up. Full flaps.
Taxi via Alpha 12, November 2, November Yankee, Delta 2359 Heavy.
Alright, we're gonna retard. Alright. Alright, reverses are on. Reverse free. Alright. Auto brake is off. Spoilers are disarmed.
American 318, welcome to O'Hare, right turn Papa 5, join Papa.
Right turn Papa 5, join Papa. Alright, this is Papa 5. Kind of a sharp turn. Alright. So definitely a fan of this aircraft.
American 318, you have a gate for tonight?
Hotel 11 Bravo for American 318, sir.
American 318, continue Papa, left Echo Echo, cross runway 28 right, Lima Lima, Alpha to the terminal. Have a good night.
Left Echo Echo, right Lima Lima to the ramp. You have a good night as well, American 318.
American 318, confirm cross runway 28 right.
And crossing runway 28 right on Echo Echo for American 318. Alright. Can get a little bit busy when they're saying all those commands and I have no co-pilot, so sorry about that. Let's just get this down to the regular taxi. And we are looking for Echo Echo, of course. Once again, folks, thanks for flying along with us on this maiden voyage with this Airbus A319 from Tolly, from Paris, because the Airbus are French aircraft, of course. Pretty exciting flight into the area. And Echo Echo should be the next one, and we'll take Echo Echo actually all the way up till Lima Lima, and then we'll slant left on Lima Lima and bring that in onto the ramp. Alright, there's another Zulu Victor here, but the next one should definitely be Echo Echo here. And here's runway 28 right, which we'll be crossing.
American 318, seems like you missed Echo Echo. Continue Golf Golf, cross 28 right, Victor to the terminal. Good night.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. We thought we saw it. So Golf Golf, cross 28 right, Victor to the ramp. You have a great night as well. Thanks for your service, American 318. I don't know how we missed that, folks, but we did. Happens. You watch pilot channels all the time. Looks like I'm not immune to that. Real pilots actually miss their taxiway here and there. Alright, then he said we're gonna go
Delta 2359,
all the way
heavy,
up
give way
Victor.
to the American A319, right to left on Golf Golf.
Give way to the American 318, approach
There
to
he
left.
is, right there.
Delta 2359.
That's who he's talking to right there. Alright, now here's Victor. Slow down a little bit. Here's Echo Echo. So I don't know how we ended up missing that, but yet we did. Alright, so looks like the scenery is just slightly off. That's why we missed that Echo Echo, because the scenery isn't 100% exactly accurate.
And Delta 2359 heavy, flighting 360, wind 290 at 8, runway 28 right, clear for takeoff.
Flight on 360, clear for takeoff, 28 right, Delta 239, 59 heavy.
Alright, making our nice little turn here. Alright, we are getting where we need to go. There's Hotel 17. Hotel 15 and Hotel 11 Bravo. And you know, I'm quite certain I've parked at this gate before on another flight, which wouldn't surprise me. But we did find the right gate, making a couple wrong turns. nice and high.
Tower, United Delta 2359 is airborne, passing 2000.
Delta 2359 Heavy, contact departure 119.0.
Contact departure 119.0, Delta 2359 Heavy. Bye-bye.
Alright, let's go down here. Park and brake is set. Let's go ahead and get our transponder off, of course. And get that to standby. Alright, and we'll disconnect from the network.